Of yesterday, which is talking about the classification of matter, something like that, composed of the pure substance and the mixture. So pure substance composed, oh my gosh, of an element and a compound, something like that. So element composed of metals, non-metals, and metalloids. So let's go back from elements first. Okay? So to better understand the elements, properties, characteristics, behavior, we need to understand the clear picture of a periodic table. So that is our, shall we say, our weapon in better understanding for the classification of matter and also for chemistry, chemical reactions, balancing of chemical equation, or any related problem solving with regards to calculations in chemistry. So that would be our weapon really, and sometimes we need to not sometimes, all the time we need to familiarize the arrangement and the locations of those metals like that. So transition metals, something like this. So we will familiarize that one also. So I need to go directly because I need to reduce the time. Oh, what time now? My gosh. Okay. So I may introduce a very popular scientist who have a discovery with this, properties study of the periodic table. It's gonna be Dimitri Mendeleev. Okay, he studied a lot regarding the arrangement, properties, characteristic of those elements in the periodic table. So Dimitri Mendeleev. So that is the scientist guys, huh? So that is his significant contribution to chemistry. Okay, like this. So I cannot draw properly because it needs a larger space for me to do so. And then this is not very big whiteboard. So I'll just try to sketch roughly, okay, for quick understanding, okay, like this. Okay, guys. Okay, so why I need to do this? Because in the near future, there's a lot of problem solving, and we need to understand the elements, and metals like this. Okay, would it react? It will never react. So this is also part of clear picture. What are the products they produce when they combine, something like this. It will start really to understand the nature of the elements, the characteristic, the behavior, properties like this. Okay, so elements. Okay. Oh my gosh! No ink. Okay. Elements. Oh my. Oh, okay. Element. Okay. So definition. Look at the whiteboard. It's the simplest form. Okay, it's the simplest form of matter. Okay. And then another definition composed of only one atom, composed of only one atom of a substance. Okay, like that. Okay. Okay. That's why we say, what is the atomic number of, say, for example, lithium? So, meaning to say, that is only referring to the one atom, okay, of that particular lithium. But there are several numbers or more than two numbers of that atom. That's why atomic number. Okay? So it regards, it's describing only the number. Okay? It's not really the specificity of one whole of an element because there's only one atom of lithium. Okay? But there's more than two or more numbers. That's why it's called atomic number. Okay? Get the point? And the atomic number, of course, that's only a number. It has no unit. Okay, it is unitless. Okay, because it's number, right? Get the point? Like that is element. Okay, so element composed of metals, okay, non-metals, okay, like this, and metalloids, okay. Metalloids are not really that explained very well during our high school chemistry, grade school level chemistry, elementary chemistry, or even in college. It is not giving more emphasis, but rather than the metals and non-metals, something like that. Okay, so we will be curious on metalloids because sometimes it will come up in the examination in the future, especially for example, board examination like that, because they are very, very clever, guys. Some topics that are not mostly explained, some topics that are not mostly discussed, they will try to pick up and put that in various questions in the board examination. Really? So how dangerous is that mentality, right? So because those are not familiar, and then they will try to push the students to have their own initiative, to research more by going outside from the box. The box means BOX is the classroom instruction. So you go out from the box and learn more apart and aside from the instructors and teachers' lessons. Okay? Because we cannot expect a very detailed and comprehensive lessons that I will be able to deliver to the students because sometimes time limited, something like that. And then, so they cannot also discuss everything there. So, for example, they have a topic, for example, matter. They cannot explain all about matter. So you, as a student, it will not be enough. Okay, you will go to the library. You go to some reference sources materials, and then you go to the www, you go to the social media or YouTube or whatever type of references that you are comfortable with and convenient with, something like that. Okay, because others are not also comfortable without videos. Okay? And others also don't like videos because it irritates them. They want only statements and paragraph. Like that. Me sometimes also like that. I don't want to watch videos. I want only the words, the statements, like that. And there are also times that I like videos also to back up my understanding for the statements and paragraphs and sentences that I read. And then it's so that it could give me a clear picture what's all about, assemble a sketch like that for better understanding and for clear understanding also sometimes. Okay? But most of the times, especially, theories, principles, and concepts, I would rather focus on the statements and paragraphs first. Okay, rather than the drawing, the symbols, the sketch, the flow charts, like that. Okay, so that would be now my additional. Okay, my additional, what do you call this one? Strategies, something like that. Okay, so that's very clear. If you want also, then go. It depends on you. Okay, so what is your convenience and what is your, what do you call this one, forte in studying, or your style, your system of studying, something like that. Okay, so I'm just telling you mine. That's why I have to what is this one, to track. So the tendency is I have a little, not little, I have a wide array of stock knowledge in that manner because I focus on the too much statements like the definitions, just like I'm preparing myself for an essay questions. It's gonna be like that. Okay, because easy questions don't need videos, don't need photos, don't need sketch, don't need symbols, don't need drawings, or don't need illustration. Okay, easy by only words, paragraphs, sentences. You will explain comprehensively through that. Okay, so that's more on easy. Okay, but if you want to intensify, then go. It would be better also for better understanding. But the chance is, you cannot take down all the theories, principles, concepts, definitions, such like that. Okay, you get the point. Because inside so many processes and operations, there are billions and trillions of both physical separation processes and chemical separation processes. Okay, and we encounter that in our daily life a lot too. Okay, from the moment we wake up, from the moment we work, from the moment we sleep, something like that, etc., etc. Okay, ganun. So guys, metals familiar, right? Okay, so we go back to the properties of a metal. Anybody? So the common properties of a metal. Okay, I'll just go to the very basic guys, ha? You will be the one to intensify. Okay? Intensify meaning you will be the one to enhance, to go to other sources. Okay, apart from my little discussion or simple discussion. Okay, so properties, we have the ability to conduct electricity. Okay, a good conductor of electricity. Okay, a good conductor of electricity. Okay, like that. Electricity. Okay. So, meaning to say, most of the metals, since we are referring to electricity, and then it is expected that there are electrons involved, right? From the word electricity. So electrons flow in particular wire or particular path or particular material, something like that. So if we are referring to the electric flow, something like that, so metal will be more electropositive. Okay, like that. Electropositive, imagine the electron are becoming positive, something like that. So what this means, most of the metals are electropositive. What this means, okay? What this means, this will give off, share, and loss the electrons to give to another element, okay, or to give to another substance. Okay, so meaning to say there's an excess of electrons in them. So most of the metals are have the characteristics to be like that, electropositive. Meaning to say rich of electrons. That's why they don't need some of their electrons. Then they will transfer or share to other elements that needs electrons. Something like that. And then those elements and substances that receive the electrons from this electropositive metals will now become electronegative. That's why we have the term electronegative. And most of the nonmetals are electronegative because they really need electrons to be stable. Something like that. So we need to say they receive, they accept the electrons coming from the metals which are most electropositive. Okay, now we understand that there is also electropositive and there's also electronegative because as far as what we know, electronegative is more popular in chemistry or electronegativity is more being stressed and emphasized compared to the electropositivity of the metal and electropositive. So sometimes other instructors will not mention that way. Okay, and we need to be clear enough that's gonna be like that, the terminology. Electropositive, and the process will be electropositivity. Because of course we have the opposite, which is the electronegative substance or nonmetals, and then the process will be electronegativity, then there will be electronegative substances or nonmetals. Okay, so we speak electropositive and electronegative, so these are describing the metals and nonmetals respectively. Then these are adjective. when we describe a noun, this will become an adjective. Okay? Like that. So be careful also in your sentences when you present your paragraph and sentences. You can easily, oh my gosh, this is a pronoun, an adjective, like that, preposition, collective noun, and a regular verb, something like that. Also to be have a knowledge for that English vocabulary, okay, and English language. So that's why I told you it would be better to be good in English as well, not only mathematics and science. So para complete package. You get the point? And that's very clear. Okay, going for my discussion. I have non-metals. So it's not only that, guys, that the metals have the property as a good conductor of electricity. Number two, also we have these metals also a good conductor of heat. Okay, Heat. Oh, ganon. Meaning thermal property. Thermal, meaning heat. Okay, that's why we have thermodynamics. The term there is thermal, that means heat. Okay, so a good conductor of heat. Okay, ganon. Okay, so this will be applied in metallurgical industries, in mining industries. In metallurgical industries, they perform a lot of alloying, in which you're trying to alloy or melt one element, two elements over the other, and they mix that to produce one product. For example, having the iron and the copper, the zinc, something like that, and now we have a roof, galvanized iron sheet that we use in our roof, right? Okay, so it's gonna be like that. So that's the because a good conductor of heat. Okay, because without heat, how can this zinc, copper will combine with each other? So of course it will melt first. Okay, and then react to one another and to stick together and then produce one unified composition. Wow, unified. Nakakaloka yung term. Okay, a good conductor of heat. Number three. Oh, this is also an identification, guys. High density. Okay? High density because normally metals are solid substances. Of course, it has a high density, okay, compared to the non-metals. Okay, number four, okay, the property of being malleable, okay, or malleability, okay, malleability, okay, sakto ang pronunciation, malleability, or malleability, okay, malleability, basta which malleability. Ganon. So the ability or the property of the metals that can be hammered or rolled or into thin sheet, something like that. Okay, it can be easily rolled and hammered into thin sheets, meaning it can easily produce a thin sheets after that physical process. Okay, ganon, right? And then, of course, we have the ductility. Ductility. Okay, ductility from the word ductile. Oh my gosh. Ductile. So the ability of the metal to be stretched pot without breaking. Okay, imagine you can stretch that in a very, very lengthy distance, horizontal distance and vertical distance. Okay, like that. Okay, but it will never be broken, something like that, because it has a high compression ratio, something like that, or the stretch ability is so high, okay, even though at a high tensile stress, okay, tensile stress, remember, okay, in strength of the materials, right? Okay, now we have the lustrous, charot, okay. Lustrous, guys, meaning the ability of the metals to reflect light evenly. Light. Okay, so if you try to reflect the light of this fluorescent to, let's say, silver, it will radiate the light to the corners of your room, something like that. Okay, and it will glitter, something like that. You know the point? Shine, like that. Oh, it depends on the kind of metals, but most of the metals are like that. Will reflect light, okay, evenly. Okay, even in equal wavelength and space. Okay? Get the point? Okay. Ganon. So six properties of the metals. And it's very easy to detect the properties of the metals. You have to reverse only. This is the technique in memorization. You have to reverse only the properties 1 to 6. You will say, a good conductor of electricity, you will say, poor. Non-metals is poor conductor of electricity. And good conductor of heat, you will say poor conductor of heat. Like that. Okay? You get the point? And then high density, you will say low density. Malleability, you will just say not malleable. Okay? Not malleable or cannot be hammered and ruled into thin sheets like that. Ductility cannot reflect light evenly. So the opposites you will just obtain directly without memorization. Okay? Lustrous, okay? Like that. And ductility is the ability to be stretched without breaking. So it don't have an ability to be stretched without breaking. The non-metals. Okay? Like that. Apart from the natural ability of the metals, which are electropositive, and non-metals are electronegative. And most of the non-metals are having an ion charge, negative. And the metal electropositive meaning mostly have the positive ion. Okay? Positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. Again, let's make this clear. Non-metals have negatively charged ion. Okay? And metals have positively charged ion. Okay? So, ganon. So, anion and cation. Okay? Like that. Anion sa negative, cation sa positive. But remember, in electrochemistry, the anion will go to the cathode. Is the reverse, and the cathode and the cation will go to the anode. Again, the anion will go to the cathode. The cation will go to the anode. Okay, something like this. Anode and cathode. Okay, anode is the negative terminal and positive terminal is the cathode. Of course, it needs negative for the cathode. So meaning to say, the anion. The anion will go to the cathode, and that since anode is a negative terminal, let's just say this is a battery. Okay, so the metals, which is electropositive and have a charge, positively charged ion, will go there to the anode. Okay, like that. The cation will go to the anode. It's the reverse. Okay, because of the law of polarity, the polarization, the law of polarity under the law of magnetism, discovered by Michael Faraday and Lewis. Those are the scientists. I am really sure that Lewis, but I am sure for Michael Faraday, guys. Okay, for this study of electromagnetism, diamagnetism, and electromagnetism. Okay, like that. So it will really link to metals and then something like this. And now we go to the metalloids. Nakakaloka ng metalloids. Okay, I will erase, guys. Okay, nakakaloka. I will erase. Okay. So metalloids not common, right? So metalloids, guys, poor conductor of electricity, and sometimes also can act. Of course, because poor lang naman siya. If you say poor conductor of electricity, meaning it can conduct electricity, but only poor. Okay? And because it has a high electrical resistance. something like that. Okay, so the more it has a higher resistance, the more it will resist those substances or metals to conduct electricity from the word itself, resistance, meaning the action verb is resist. If we say, me, I will resist him from overtaking me into the top number one in the class. Oh my gosh. So I need to have higher resistance so that this guy cannot go in the top. I will be in the top number one always in the dance lister, or in the ranking, something like that. So I will resist anybody that will try to compete me in the top number two, top number one. I will really fight with them, and I will really excel to the top, something like that. So you have to resist them. Then you should have a higher resistance. Okay? So that you can resist them. Okay? Ganon siya. You get the point? Okay? Ganon. So, higher resistance. So, higher resistance, dagan kayo mo resist. Okay? Higher resistance. So, muna siyang poor. Poor yun iyang conductivity. Okay? Ganon. Chuda. Okay? Minong sa kuog. Nahala. I have still 4 minutes to go. This is Diet Pepsi. Charot! Okay, wow, nakakaloka. Okay, metalloids, poor conductivity because of a higher electrical resistance, something like that. Okay, but sometimes it can act as a little bit of metal, and sometimes it can act also a little bit of non-metal. Okay, something like that, guys. Okay, get the point. Okay, it's very clear. Okay, thank you so much for watching this live streaming. If you like, comment and share this video, then you can have your total freedom to do so. And then you can subscribe my YT channel if you like also. Okay, and I will be happy if you do that for me. And then you can click the notification bell for some newest updates of I Am a Singer, Eternal Voice. Bye bye, God bless everybody. See you later.